In this video, I want to talk about one of the cheapest and most useful tools that I have in my photography arsenal. This is it, a piece of black paper. Black paper can do great things for your photography. I'm going to explain how I use this black paper in my photos. I use it for various different things. I always keep black paper in my camera bag. Now, it doesn't take up any space, but it allows me to do things. I don't use it all the time, but I use it in a lot of shots, and it allows me to do things that I couldn't get otherwise. So one of the reasons why I like using the black paper is because it's cheap. I'm a bit of a cheap guy, so I don't particularly want to be spending a lot of money on stuff. The other reason is it's easy to find, easy to keep in your camera bag. The other two accessories that help me to use this black paper are rubber bands, very useful to photographers, and blue tack. I don't know what you call it in your country, but we call it blue tack. It's just adhesive putty that allows me to stick my black cards various places. A lot of people may be saying that I should stick my black card in... No, I won't say that. A lot of you may be saying that I should stick my black card where it doesn't shine. I don't know, so be patient with me. I'm going to explain the uses of this black card, the rubber bands and the blue tack, and hopefully you'll be able to use it in your photography. Now, the first way I use my black card, I do a lot of night photography, and the black card allows me to control my exposures a little bit more. I can use a 30-second exposure or B setting to allow me to use longer than 30-second exposures. And I can use my black card in front of my camera to cut out those intermittent sequences where I don't want to shoot. I can just open up my black card to allow the light to come in when I want to, and then just close it off again. I'm effectively using it as a shutter, but I've got a constantly open shutter on my camera. Have a look at this image here of the roundabout. In this shot, I wasn't getting a lot of traffic coming through. I needed to restrict my overall exposure to about 30 seconds to get the ambient light in the background and the buildings. So what I did was, as a car went past or approached the roundabout, I would open up my camera on my tripod, and then once a car went through, I would close it off again. When the next car came through, I would open it up again and then close it once it's gone, so that my total exposure was only about 30 seconds, so that I could match that ambient light but still get all of those car trails in my shot at the same time. You could do the same thing with multiple exposures. You could just have your shutter open for a minute or 2 minutes and use your little black card as a device to shut off when you don't need it. You could open it up for an exposure, close it down. It allows you to do a lot of things without changing your shutter speed or actually using multiple exposures on your camera. So that's the first way I use it. Another way I use it is to block the sun from my lens so that I don't get lens flare. If I'm shooting with the sun over to the left or the right, I can use my black card on my lens with a little bit of blue tack on it, and I can simply push that on the side of my lens so that it blocks the sun from hitting my lens. It allows me to get a flare-free shot in a situation where lens flare might have been a problem. Simply the black card and a piece of blue tack. If the sun's up above and it's impinging on my lens, we all know how useless lens hoods are nowadays with zoom lenses, but I can use this again on the top of my lens. I would just check through my viewfinder to make sure that it's not coming into my shot, but that allows me to prevent that lens flare from the sun hitting the front of my lens. Another way I use the black paper is when I'm using my pop-up flash. I can use my pop-up flash to set off my strobe lights if I want to in the studio or even outdoors, but I want to stop this flash hitting my subject. So all I do is have a little piece of black paper shaped like this. I can pass it through under my speed light. It fits into my hot shoe. It allows me to block my pop-up flash from hitting my subject, but it will still fire to set off any strobe lights that I might have in the vicinity. It works better in the studio, but it can work outdoors just the same. You've seen my video on using pop-up flash for glamour and portrait work. Then this would be a part of that system as well. Another way I can use it is simply by rolling it up and sitting it over the front of my lens, shooting so that I can get that little vignette of my subject. We can use this for landscape, street photography, portraiture, whatever you want. I can use rubber bands over this end and that allows me to get that dark surround and the tunnel sort of effect that I can get with this black paper. My black paper also helps me with my speedlight flash. I can do a similar thing to the lens flare issue on my lens by just blocking off, flagging my flash from one side. If I've got something over here I don't want my flash to hit, anything that's closer to the camera for instance, because my flash is going to overexpose that area, I can simply use this flag to prevent that light hitting over in that direction. I often use it when I'm shooting a subject on a grassy area. I can use this underneath my flash like this to prevent that light from hitting the foreground so that I don't have that bright light on that grass in the foreground. You could cut a little bit of a zigzag in here so that it's not quite a straight line, but because it's close to the flash, it tends to blur that transition from the darkness to the flash quite well. So it works really well as well. I often use a rubber band rather than the blue tack, but the rubber band's just a little bit difficult to access in this situation. So I'm just showing you how it works this way. We could also put it underneath our flash here and drop our flash down and have the flash itself hold the black card in place. So there's a number of different ways we can use the black card with our flash as well. And the final way I can use my black card is as a loop. If I'm out in bright sunshine, I want to review my image on my screen. I don't have a mirrorless camera. If I want to review my image on my screen, often that daylight makes it very difficult to see. So I can just roll up my little piece of card, stick it on the back of my LCD, and I can see that image quite clearly because there's no ambient light coming in to ruin that image, to reflect off my screen and make it difficult to see. It's particularly useful shooting weddings because I want to be able to see that I've got detail in that bride's dress so that I don't lose that detail. This allows me to see the whole image if I need to, so that I can judge those values. My histogram is not always going to tell me everything about those midtones and things as well. So this allows me to do that. So get yourself some black card or black paper. You don't want it too thick because it's going to be hard to bend and manipulate, but you can keep it in your camera bag for the times that you need it. You may not need it for 12 months at a time, but there will be one period or one actual shot that you want to use that's going to help your image, either with the lens flare, with the vignetting, with the viewing on the back screen. Give it a go. There may be other ways that you can use this black paper. If you know any other ways that you can use this, let me know in the comments. We can all benefit from that experience that you have in using the black card. I'll see you next time.